come on. Serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here.
Well, if it's facts and logic...
Yeah, I want to write...
Yes, you came...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But is it just Paimon, or is it kind of unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Great, let's go find out what this
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the...
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so... Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many...
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talk...
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's...
Let me give you some background. This all started, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down.
That's right. Akaba's teacher is...
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Yes, my thoughts exactly.
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, even back then. Tatarasuna was already at the center of it.
Wait, so there are two missing people?
That's right! What's more, Niwa...
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest...
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gentlemen.
Get to the point.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the look...
No!
I agree. It does...
Oh, and please read... Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative... Oh! How about...
Wait! You're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from SA...
Akaba... Besides, if there really was a political...
Good point. Okay.
We have some other stuff to do, so...
All right, thank you.
Hey, so... that thing they were talking about, it has to do... Okay, then, even if we did know something about it, after all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that, if you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many... Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Paimon, there you are.
Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer. Did he escape or...
Sure enough.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana?
I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trusted...
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why...
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand the Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui play.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And so as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm... Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection.
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll...
Yeah, obviously!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have to... Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do...
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today.
You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twins' details in the Descender category. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of... He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descend...
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him. He's treated us as enemies.
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by how things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the... As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want... If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth... It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru...
Paimon's still worried about this idea.
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the balladeer, even though he only has a fraction of his full power left. That's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irma Grade. Prepare yourselves.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I get...
Shut your beak, Jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to peace.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region, I know there are many grievances between you.
Fine, let's call it truce. But
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have...
you sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more...
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection.
Is this a small set? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the Ooh. Paimon's never
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information... Pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will...
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul...
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted.
Let's go. Stay close.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What would... what are you
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe...
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it.
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he...
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all,
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the one...
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? also invited Paimon.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us.
Paimon's never tried this before. Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart. So, you made contact with that part of his mind.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that...
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created...
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events,
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people...
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed...
So the Gesei got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved. Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your...
So,
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation, huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share...
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a war. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks...
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, you allowed Akame to take all the credit. Even now.
You flatter me. From the outset,
So you say, Escher.
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept none of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the golden feather, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to
You're well informed on the
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting—
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end— I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't—
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have—
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few days. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias. And and yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth. It is easier for a person to be possessed by— Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being—
If you give him he has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone—
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human, Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner working. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful—
Hey,
Dottore. Good.
was that the doctor? Did he? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more—
Let's him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasu. It was all a horrific experiment planned of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion. The mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire... He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of...
Hey, are you investigating this?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not...
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that...
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first death. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to this.
The heavens...
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, did you get all that, Lesser?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was...
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for...
Huh? What?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your... No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do... So tell me, in this world... Done.
Huh? What the? What happened?
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance.
Hey, Balladeer!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance, but if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they just...
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on. Oh no, he's really...
Oh,
Nihida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now?
It was the Balladeer's fault.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or...
Where the heck did he go? It's all...
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me... We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Erm...
We're out! And we're at...
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with.
An emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And what... He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon... Oh, Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry. Paimon accidentally... but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Paimon, there's no way he'll act... There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we... Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still... So... Alright, Paimon will start. And Drayun Chili... I'll... What do we... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon... Is that a food, too? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something So... Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
It's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5, the art of forging practiced by these 5 clans, most of the great swordsmith clans of old, have since fallen into decline. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he...
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remember they learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me. He told me that, as we are both... There is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the targets...
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it was the armory officer, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, but when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt... That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? On to the next stop! Lead the way, traveler! We're here!
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid you're...
Are they out on
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Is this... Of course, traveler. Yet, what would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever.
So pretty much business as usual on the...
Very much.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to I must say, many things in I mean, whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. They get to talking about you. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and as someone who is old and gray enough to have watched. So, in the future, if you ever do, wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant.
Of course.
All right, goodbye for now. We're great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see her.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now.
Very well. Safe.
No time to lose.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area.
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here, and if there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatar. Oh, well, it's a long. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always put sadly, I've never had the pleasure. Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. More farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile? No matter. Hey, don't. All right, let's.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us one.
We have time. What do you want to talk?
The same topic we discussed last.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh!
I presume you'll want to read my.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba...
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically...
Wow, so many.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one ugh. So there's...
This new info...
Yes, okay, point...
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry.
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop of you...
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
The Balladeer? You look troubled. Is there some... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
That's quite... So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves...
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the Traveler comes from a world beyond Teyvat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's mode.
I can only make inferences based on the information. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't... It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the... He couldn't keep hating humans after that. But the story makes sense. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul.
Yeah, it does make sense. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but...
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote...
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story...
Hold on. So this
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story, and changing the information in Irminsul changes Teyvat. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance.
That's incredible!
Sending the traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. Once in a while. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on a gray fox stood up. The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire. The monster gave a heart of water to the kitten. The fire was extinct. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass. How it wished to swallow the moon, and I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories to become a god. He was experimented on. This memory of creating a deity, I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams.
It's hard to believe Paimon has no...
The Balladeer, before he we still don't know how to change the...
It sounds like...
This is why So the answer is, when you give someone the truth to others, never forget. And that is what...
Yeah, Nahita's...
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help. What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of it?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look.
Hey! Hey, what?
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? We're
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this...
No, please. I mean it. You don't...
You're welcome, I guess. But...
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment.
Stop. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you...
That's right, we can talk more about that later. First...
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight.
No time to lose. Yeah.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too... Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should... Huh? You two over there. Is there something...
He spotted...
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we... No, we haven't met. I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something... Look, I'm just a wanderer. But okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more of him.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take...
That's oddly...
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
No time to lose. Yep. Here you go, boss. I'll leave.
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss.
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that... But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't know...
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just...
Thank you. All right, done. time to lose.
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do apologize.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you're trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like... But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past on...
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it...
Oh, like a past life or...
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So...
Okay, I have to ask. What? Oh, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt, but I'll be able to handle it. Please.
Is truth something you care a lot?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. As a nun, you drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes...
I gave everything I had, but it...
In terms of the outcome alone, that...
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time. A chain of cause and effect.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but... yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you...
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random... He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom...
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the...
Please, I want to see them for myself.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name. There is nothing in this...
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for...
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your, unique...
Understood.
Thank you.
This looks like...
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that enemies may react...
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion.
Is that because this is...
You could see...
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. No, there's no way. Look at this. There's someone passed out on the... You're awake. What happened? Not a...
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well,
in the original version of events...
Let me get you out of here.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, as the second in command at Tatarasuna, but Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty.
I was abandoned, like you.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the he kept coughing all the time, just like me.
But you can't.
Yup, we're family now. This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer, after his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. After leaving Tataris...
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no... The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
No time to lose.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall?
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the delusion.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer.
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even...
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your...
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible. And don't let your emotions get in the...
Surely you're not worried about...
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find...
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed... Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still... Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should...
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to...
Yes. Please...
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Over here! Let me amuse myself. The systems shine no longer. Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment.
Welcome. I look forward.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god.
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, no matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, can you return my memories to...
Huh? But won't that mean you're...
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. As a puppet living in a human world, my life...
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that... Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins... I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is... You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
Stross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions? Be more human! Behold! The wind rises. At my command, you shall fall. I'm used to this. Insignificant pest! Squall and Fury. Cry louder! The wind rises. My endless cycle begins! Behold! Be more human! Squall and Fury! Yeah! Imbecile! What did you expect? I'd never...
There's the tone of voice again. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too!
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. You sound like you're concerned about... But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing...
The memory recovery seems to have been a success.
Come on. Let's...
Welcome back, Traveler.
It feels like we just...
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking... I should After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to... I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I...
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people. What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world... Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't...
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information
Why would you go to such lengths?
In all honesty, Your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be...
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes... Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that, I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. All balance.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed. Which is why there is emotion in everything that you feel is real and lasting. And whatever to be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feel. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal.
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname.
Why?
Because Paimon's the...
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything? Are you sure? Oh.
There. Now...
What about a nickname? Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer...
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they oughtn't. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still.
I see.
Huh?
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my. Alright. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant.
Yeah, true. But even so, so we can finally.
Thank you both.
I've got it! I can end my novel.
You mean
Yeah! I heard the dark clap then won all these expressions of life.
No time to lose. Yep. Yep.
Whew, it's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes right. Wow! Huh? Look at the Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something?
You sound lost and I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find.
Huh? Is there some?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps when a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird,
Who are you?
history does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming up? Anyway, it feels wrong just leaving it there.